Hey yo, I'm Colby from Sanitarium Productions. We're back again today with another exciting G.I. Joe action figure review. Today we're taking a look at the Storm Shadow figure from the Dollar General Store Exclusive Wave 1 thing. Anyways, this came out in 2011. It's part of the Wave 1 release, and it is essentially the Ninja Force version of Storm Shadow in his cool white hood thing. So, yeah, it's a cool looking figure. Pretty easy to come across. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and just dive into this thing, unbox it, and do a review for y'all. So, stick with us. Storm Shadow. Again, this is the Dollar General Exclusive Wave 1 variant of Storm Shadow, and he is meant to be in his Ninja Force gear. So the front of the packaging is pretty plain, and I've stated before I really like the packaging here. I guess I just like this brushed metal kind of look here. But overall it works really well. Flipping over to the back, you can see the rest of the characters here. These were all Wave 1 releases. Wave 2 had them the same basic figures, just with different variations of the color schemes. So in this case, Storm Shadow, the Wave 2 variant was the orange color. So still, it's cool. We're going to go ahead and unbox this thing real quick. So I've got my handy dandy X-Acto knife here. The figure stand is not part of the regular packaging, it's just underneath everything. We'll pull it all out. And we've got this little insert here. It's got the Cobra symbol. I should point out that this particular figure, in the comics anyways, was actually on the G.I. Joe team at the time, not on the Cobra team, but not that big a deal. The rest of this is now just recycling bin material. So, as far as accessories go, there is a piece of tape here holding his sword in place. So I'm just going to go ahead and slice that open and pull the figure and the sword out. And then his other accessory is this really cool looking bow. And unlike most of the other characters, this figure has two accessories. He's got the sword and the bow. Most of them, again, it was the dollar discount store kind of exclusive, so they kind of cheaped out on a lot of the accessories, but it's nice to see that this one has two accessories. And I will point out that there is a piece of that weird clear rubber band stuff holding his sword to his hand. So I'm just going to go ahead and slice that off real quick. Real gentle like. There we go. Just get that out of the way. I thought it's on there pretty good. So, there we have it. We've got single sword, the bow, the figure stand, and the figure itself. So, we'll go ahead and zoom in a little closer now and take a better look. The figure stand that comes with it is pretty much the traditional Cobra figure stand. As I pointed out in some of the previous reviews, there is no code name on these. So, it was kind of just a generic Cobra Trooper figure stand. So if you ever need any extra ones, pick these up, because they're a little bit better to swap out with things, so you don't have to worry about matching up character names and things like that. But still really nice that they did include the figure stand. Again, it was a kind of a cheaper release, so they didn't have to go to the trouble of putting those in there, so I do appreciate the fact that they're there. Accessory wise, we have single sword. Pretty plain, pretty basic, but it does the job. It works really well. Then the other accessory is this really cool compound bow. It is all molded as one piece, so it's not like collapsible or anything like that. Some of the later releases, the newest 50th anniversary one, comes with a bow that's kind of collapsible. This one's all just one piece. And overall, it's a really nice looking bow, though. Very cool. No string attached, but... now on to the figure itself. So this, again, the costume itself is based on the 1991 release, I think, which was the Ninja Force version of Storm Shadow. And at this time, he was part of the G.I. Joe force. So, some reason they keep including it as a Cobra figure. Probably because it seems to be confusing to a lot of people that you would have someone switching sides like Storm Shadow did, but I guess they figure they can do better with just making sure he's a Cobra Trooper and then just not confuse people. But anyways, this is a cool design. The actual paint job itself works really well. It's got the nice black and white kind of motif going on. The sculpt is really nice. It works really well for a ninja. He's got this really cool hood that is removable. Just kind of bend it around a little bit and it just pops right off. So that's cool. Articulation wise, the head does move 360 degrees. Up and down motion is really nice. Shoulder joint is traditional ball and rocker. Then you've got articulation at the elbow joint with a ball and rocker as well. Then you have swivel joint at the wrist. And what I will make mention of is his right hand actually has both the swivel and the rocker on it. So you get extra articulation there, but only on his right hand. Left hand is not articulated like that. It's just a single swivel joint. And you've got the ab crunch feature here at the waist. We'll point out that just due to the way that the bottom half of the figure is sculpted, he has a tendency to angle to the left when you're rocking it. But other than that, it still works really well and swivel and everything, so no problems with that. The hip joint is the same that we're used to with everything else, so no big surprises there. It's got a double knee joint and swivel and rocker at the ankle. So overall, very cool, very nice articulation here. Costume wise, he does have this really cool sash going across his shoulder. This cool belt that's kind of what Storm Shadow is known for, so it's nice that they have that included. Really cool, nicely detailed belt. And yeah, overall just a really cool looking figure. A lot of nice detail work here. Slip his cowl back on. And it just looks really nice. So, yes, very cool. There is this little peg on the back of his belt. And I don't really know if it's kind of meant to be there on purpose. I really can't find anything on the bow for it to latch to specifically. But you can kind of force it in a little bit on one of these little vent things on his bow, so it can attach to his not really well. But again, I don't know if it's supposed to be like that or what, but there is that little thing there that's meant to do something, but I just don't know what. So his sword also does not have a peg hole on it, so it's not meant to do that, but regardless, His sword fits in his hand pretty well. It's a little loose, but not too bad at all. So you get some really good action poses with it. Then the good thing is that when he's not carrying it around, you can just slip it into his back, kind of like that, and he can carry it at the same time. Then as far as the bow goes, it fits in his hand really easily. It's a little loose in his hand. A lot loose in his hand. But then the other hand is about the same. Maybe a little bit better. So yeah, it fits a little bit better in his left hand than it does his right hand. So take that for what you will. You can kind of spin it around either way and make it work. But yeah, I mean it works. So for a cheap version of the figure, you really can't go wrong. It's really nice. It works really well. The color scheme on it, again, is really awesome. So I like that much at least. So even I wouldn't really recommend picking it up for the accessories, but the actual sculpt itself is pretty awesome, and it's worth picking up just because of that. You can always swap out accessories for, ones you like a little bit better. But yeah, overall, it's a really cool figure. I actually like this one quite a bit. So if you can, go ahead and pick it up. It's worth tracking down. That's our review for the G.I. Joe Dollar Store Exclusive Storm Shadow Wave 1. This was, again, the Ninja Force version. So it's really nice to actually have an updated version of that particular release of the figure. They did an amazing job here, especially considering this was a budget line figure. Would have been nice to have a few extra accessories, but again, it was a budget release, so we're lucky we got the number of accessories we did with this particular figure. The Wave 1 release, the black and white version, is a little bit harder to come by than Wave 2, which was the orange version. So it does have a little bit more of a price point to it, but luckily it's not completely unreasonable right now. So if you haven't already, I do recommend picking this thing up. It is really an awesome figure. That's pretty much all the time we've got today. Sorry. So thanks for watching. I don't know what else to say. I screwed it up. We'll try to cut right there and continue on. So thanks for watching. Feel free to subscribe to our channel below if you haven't already. Post some comments below. Let us know how we're doing, whatever the things you'd like to see in future episodes. Until next time, happy hunting, and yo Joe.